All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. In Havenhurst, Phyllis and Sharon debate how to search for the camera without drawing attention. Sharon thinks they should just do it right out in the open. Who cares if they can see them dismantling the camera? Let him come and confront them. Phyllis likes this idea. They'll dare them to come in there. Sharon says it would give them a chance to get out of there. Phyllis tells her they should go one step further. Let's trash the place. That's sure to get him down there. Sharon nods at the suggestion. They've got some aggression to get out of their system. She walks over and clears a table, and then asks Phyllis, "What are you waiting for?" In Nick's car, he tells Billy he should give Summer a call. Billy flashes to him and Nick coming together to figure out Sharon and Phyllis' disappearance. Nick concludes his call to Summer as Billy's reverie wraps up. He thinks Summer sounds scared. They recap that life has been a nightmare for months. First, Ian and Jordan, and now some other lunatic. Nick just hopes they get there in time. They agree that they won't let chance chase them off. Nick just can't understand someone kidnapping Sharon and Phyllis and not demanding ransom. Talk turns to the message on the phone. Someone will pay the price for saving them. Will it be Phyllis and Sharon or them? He's leading them right to them, so what does it mean? Nick doesn't know, but something tells him they'll get an answer very soon. At Havenhurst, Chance is irked to see the arrival of Billy and Nick, who vows to get the Newman security team to come out and back them up. Billy wants to know why they're not busting the door down. Chance says they're waiting for the landlord to come and let them in. They're also waiting for a search warrant. Nick and Billy are unimpressed. They don't know what's going on in there. These women have been through hell for the last 6 months. Chance is ordering them not to go in. This could be a trap. This is a police matter and they'll follow police procedures. Chance gets a text that the search warrant is approved. He insists, however, that they wait for the landlord to open the door. Billy and Nick pace impatiently. Inside, Phyllis and Sharon take great delight in destroying the room, ripping up pillows and smashing lamps. Sharon hollers about Ian Ward and Phyllis yells about Jordan, the devil's bride. Sharon screams about her drugging her and sticking her in the sewer. Phyllis shouts about her running her off the road. Sharon cries, "This one is for poisoning my medication, making me out of my mind. I didn't know what I was doing. This is for Heather's death, and for me blaming Daniel and putting you and your family through so much pain." She topples the bookcase. Sharon tells Phyllis she's really sorry for what happened. Phyllis says they don't need to go there anymore. That part, it's good that she was stuck there with her. Sharon says they've both had a lot of time there to think about what their hatred has cost them. Phyllis agrees. It took all of their history being thrown in their face to realize. She muses, "I've heard of tough love, but this is kind of ridiculous." They decide to keep going. Sharon wonders if they are watching them or listening. Phyllis hollers that this isn't a game anymore, and they're not going down without a fight. Sharon chimes in, they have to do this for their families. They assure the sicko they're not done. They have their families to live for. They list off their children and then get to Nick. Awkward laughter ensues. Phyllis says, "Cassidy first." Sharon nods, "And your new job." They ask the voice what he's going to do now. It's his turn to wonder what's going on. "There's no stopping us." "You tried," Phyllis yells. Outside, Nick tries to clean the glass door to see in. He and Billy crab about how long the landlord is taking. Chance knows they're anxious, but he doesn't want the culprit to skate by on a legal technicality. Billy hollers about letting the women die inside while they debate. Just then, the landlord shows up with a ring of keys and asks what they want him to do. Billy barks, "Open the damn door." Chance says wait a minute and questions the man if anyone has contacted him recently about this place. The landlord shakes his head. The building's been unused for years. They try the key and learn the locks were changed. Nick informs the guy they're going to break down the door. "You got a problem with that?" Inside, Phyllis and Sharon giggle over their trashed room. "Junkyard chick," Sharon jokes. Phyllis tells her she's actually funny. It took them being in the hellhole to realize it. Sharon asks, "What happens now?" Phyllis holds up the camera. "The voice can't see us, upset, so I assume she expects a visit soon." Sharon thinks this will give them the upper hand, but she warns they'll probably show up with some sort of weapon. Phyllis decides they should find something to protect themselves with. Phyllis grabs a plastic object and Sharon finds a thermos. They turn out the light and hover by the door to wait. Outside, Chance tells Billy and Nick the door is made of shatterproof glass. He jimmies the lock and stops Nick from going in. The cops need to go first. They do, with Billy and Nick following them into the dark. In their room, Phyllis and Sharon hear a door closing far away. One of the burner phones gets a notification. It's another riddle. Not very sportsmanlike, ladies, you lose. Sharon thinks that's more like a death threat. Phyllis is sure he's coming for them. They take up their station at the door again. Phyllis reminds Sharon they are badasses after everything they've done in their lives to protect their families. Sharon nods. We're survivors. Phyllis says, take my hand. We've got this. Suddenly, they hear a hissing noise, and the song starts playing again over the speaker. Sharon asks, what is that? Phyllis replies, oh my God, it's gas. Sharon asks, where is it coming from? They start searching and Phyllis finds the source, but she can't turn it off. Choking, she takes a towel Sharon hands her to try and plug it. Outside, Chance and the others approach outside the door. They hear the music. Nick says he knows they're in there and calls out Sharon's name. In the room, Phyllis isn't able to stop the gas. She hollers to the voice that he won't win. As Sharon hands her another sheet, Chance calls out to them outside the door. Sharon tells Phyllis, I heard someone. Phyllis warns they don't have a lot of time. Sharon tells her to get away from the gas pipe. She'll pass out if she doesn't move outside the door. Billy points out that none of the other rooms were locked. They start trying the door. Inside the room, Sharon notices the door handle moving and grabs her thermos as Phyllis passes out. Sharon raises the thermos over her head and waits. Phyllis starts coughing and Sharon tells her to keep her mouth and nose covered. Suddenly, she hears Nick shouting to her. Sharon answers him. Billy asks if Phyllis is with her. She says she is, but she isn't doing well. They need to hurry. They holler at the women to back up so they can shoot off the lock. Sharon hollers that they can't or it will cause an explosion. Nick says, "Ok, then back up." With that, he kicks the door in. The men rush inside and Nick grabs Sharon. Billy rushes to Phyllis and holds her. "I've been looking for you." He urges her to stay with him. "I've got you." They agree they need to get them out of there. Later, at the ranch, Chance tells Billy and Nick that Sharon and Phyllis, sitting on the sofa, should go to the hospital to get checked out. Nick agrees, but the EMTs checked them out and said they could go home. Billy says they just want to be somewhere familiar. Nick asks if he's got anything new. Chance shakes his head. His guess is that this guy didn't leave much of a trail. This was carefully plotted out. The gas was programmed to go off if triggered. It's diabolical. A lot of thought and preparation went into this. It's not a random kidnapping. They can't understand who would do this or why. Joining the women, Nick asks how they ended up in the clinic. Phyllis and Sharon explain they were drugged and taken there separately. They woke up together and thought it was someone's idea of a joke. Phyllis guesses they thought she took Sharon out. She gave them ample reason to think that. She's sure the lunatic was hoping people would think that way. They don't know who the lunatic is, but he spoke to them in a distorted voice. They ask if Jordan or Ian is somehow still alive. Chance confirms they're not. They realize this is someone else. Phyllis says Jordan and Ian are garden-variety psychopaths. Whoever this is, they are sick. It was like they liked to watch them suffer. They liked the game for their own entertainment. A game of cat and mouse, which ends when the mouse dies. Chance thinks they're all wondering who this person is. They have no idea. Phyllis says they always spoke in a distorted voice, playing games with them. Billy asks about the games. Sharon and Phyllis tell them about the riddles. The person knew a lot about them. Phyllis says at first, she thought it was him trying to broker peace between them. Nick promises he didn't drug or kidnap them. Phyllis says it was only for a second, she thought that. Billy asks what happened after they solved the riddles. Phyllis says they were promised their freedom. Sharon says it was lies, which escalated into them having to save each other's lives. Phyllis explains they were poisoned. They were being watched like rats in a lab, somebody's project. Billy and Nick reveal that the person led them right to them, also with riddles. Having them Sharon almost thinks rescued, but dying from the gas first. Phyllis declares it's sick. Chance says it's over. Phyllis and Sharon question that. Whoever it is, they're still out there. They have to find them before they strike again. Across town in their suite, Traci pours champagne. She hears Alan's phone go off again and frowns again. It won't stop. Grabbing his phone, she reads the notification, which says security breach at the clinic. Precautions enacted. Next on The Young and the Restless. Alan finds Traci holding the phone and questions her.